Hello. My presentation is about soft skills, but I would like to start by asking you to reflect what is a good seamanship for you. If you think about it, maybe most of the officers that you know possess good seamanship. Then if you think more, you would consider most of the industry and the officers that are engaged in it to be possessing good seamanship. After all, these are the backbone of the seaborne trade, right? So then why so often we try to understand what is a good seamanship by focusing only on what is a bad seamanship? You know, you go to conferences and you hear the lawyers talking about accidents and talking about how many, the value of the cargo that was lost. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is, right, up to 65%, maybe up to 9% of all the accidents at sea are caused by human element. So, what we are doing, most of the times, the reaction from the industry is they will hyper-regulate, right? Everything, even the most simple behavior on board, should be prescribed in order to reduce as much as possible this human element and possibly to reduce the errorless human brain by machines. However, if you take a look at the legacy of our industry, you will realize that for many centuries, actually the human element was the driving force behind it. It was not so far away when the management of the crew was much more important than the management of the ship itself. If you think about it, leading crews against odds, against the lack of food, against uncertainty, was much more important than actually positioning yourself. Think Christopher Columbus, right? He died thinking that he found out Asia, while he ended up in America. Think also John Cabot. He was looking for Asia, but he ended up in Canada. Well, with the introduction of more and more navigational tools, technical skills become more and more important. However, I will argue that nowadays, for certain factors, we're going to see again a renaissance of those non-technical soft skills. And there are two main factors that drive this renewed interest in those skills. The first one is the automation. And it's the paradox of our time that as much machines are taking over the technical side of things, they engage in complex computations and even some degree of decision making, the more important and the higher is the demand for kind of decision making and coordination on the side of humans. So we will see the jobs actually humanized. And what you can see from, for example, a recent report from the Deloitte is that in transportation industry in particular, the importance of soft skill overweights the importance of technical skills 2-to-1. And what is expected is an annual loss of nearly 8 billion only for the UK economy for in loss of productivity and efficiency because people don't possess enough soft skills. There is also another factor that impacts our sector in particular, and this is the manpower crisis. As you know, BIMCO predicted a shortage of nearly 200,000 officers within the next 2 years. So what we are going to see is no more homogeneous crews. Crews are going to be international, and they're going to be comprised of people from all over the world because we are not going to have the option anymore to put people from the same nationality together. And this could be a great strength for the crew, but also a great vulnerability. And unless people have the soft skills to work together and to embrace the diversity, you can see also increasing harassment, bullying, and abuse online. And this pushes a lot of people away from our industry. The other consequence of this manpower crisis is that officers are promoted earlier and earlier, and you can see that the age of the masters are dropping. So you see that women and men are promoted to carry a burden they didn't mature actually to hold. So while they're well supported by the companies with technical training and administrative training in order to take senior positions, the soft skills is still on the blind spot. And this is something that for sure should be addressed, as it is well known that it learns to a burden, and a lot of people give up spending time at sea. So I hope at that time I convinced you that soft skills is something that you have to invest and promote among your crews. However, where to start? There are, I don't know, literally hundreds of soft skills you can address. And of course, not all of them are relevant. So you have to decide for yourself. You want a relaxed captain, or you want a gentle, tender-hearted engineer? Is it relevant if they're introvert or extrovert? And believe me, sometimes the answer to these questions is not so intuitive. Let me tell you an anecdote about that. There was this German general, Hammerstein, who believed that there are 4 types of officers. And they usually exhibit 4 characteristics that come in combination of 2. These are laziness, diligence, smart, and being stupid. So he believed that if you have diligent and smart people, they are best suited for operational level. If you have lazy and stupid people, they're perfect to work and to be involved in any routine task. Of course, if you are lucky to have people that are lazy and smart, they're suited for the higher leadership positions because they have the intellectual quality, but they also have the composure to make a difficult decision. However, you have to avoid at all costs giving responsibility to someone who is diligent but stupid, because these people are going to bring only mischief, and it's going to be on a large scale. So, okay, we at SAFEBRIDGE used a slightly more complex methodology in order to assess which are the soft skills that are specifically important in our industry, trying to demystify what is a good seamanship as far as soft skills are concerned, of course. So we asked officers from deck and engine, operational and managerial level, and we came up after using a job analysis survey with 3 clusters of skills that are important for good performance on board. These are coping under pressure, safe management, and interpersonal skills. And you can see that there is quite a lot of overlap between the soft skills that are required for deck and engine officers. So the only difference is in self-management, as for deck officers it's important to be self-sufficient, and for engine officers it's more important to be open to experience. And for interpersonal skills, for deck officers it's more important to be assertive and to have good negotiation skills, while for engine officers it's more important to be agreeable and to have social sensitivity. Something that is worth noting is that there is a different norm for the different levels. So operational levels officers usually have much better self-control or the composure to make difficult decisions. And managerial level officers, and operational level officers exhibit much higher levels of achievement striving. So they are much more diligent, so which is pretty much close to what General Hammerstein imagined as the perfect match between the person and the position. So I challenge you to think about how would categorize your own officers. And if you find this question challenging, please visit our website and learn more about our tools. Thank you.